Hey, what's up, guys? So, this isn't exactly new news. This is old news, but I want to bring it up because I think it's important. Um, President Biden is doing very badly, and anyone that pays attention to politics is aware of that. I'm not going to go into detail about that. I'm sure most of you are aware. However, it is being considered that the best option for this country is that President Trump be reelected in 2024. Now, the reason I want to go over this is because, we have to, as a society, as a people, have the principle of individual liberty as a center point of our priorities. Trading one authoritarian regime for another authoritarian regime is not going to go well for the American people. Let's take a listen here to President Trump's own admission of what he thinks of the Second Amendment.
Well, in the category, you spoke about the gun violence restraining orders. They're called, California actually has a version of this. And I think in your meeting with governors earlier this week, individually and as a group, we spoke about the states taking steps. But the focus is to literally give families and give local law enforcement additional tools if an individual is reported to be a potential danger to themselves or others. Allow due process, so no one's rights are trampled, but the ability to go.
All right, I want to point out that this reporter here, this supposed journalist, if that's what he is, I doubt it, says allow due process. Even this corporate shill of a reporter says allow due process. Now let's listen to President Trump.
Or obtain an order and then collect not only the firearms, but any weapons in the possession
Or
of that
might
individual.
take the firearms first and then go to court, because that's another system.
Take the firearms first, then go to court. Does anyone have a problem with that? Is President Trump the hero that we need in this country to save us from President Biden? Is President Biden terrible? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I want to ask you a question. Is this man here really what we need in this country? Is he really? Is he the best that we have to offer? Do you think that we could do a little bit better? Where are we setting this bar at? Where is the bar set? If this is the best that we can do. I'll tell you where my bar is set. And of course it is not set in perfection. None of us are perfect. But I set the bar at the true American legend that is Ron Paul. In my opinion, Ron Paul, in my lifetime, was the best that this country could have done. But Obama was chosen instead. And that was a very big mistake. How does President Trump compare to Ron Paul? How does he compare to Rand Paul? How does he compare to Thomas Massie? He doesn't compare very well at all. If you are a Trump supporter, I'm not trying to push you away. The people have to unite. Let's let him continue.
There's a lot of times, by the time you go to court, it takes so long to go to court to get the due process procedures. I like taking the guns early, like in this crazy man's case that just took place in Florida. He had a lot of firearms, they saw everything. To go to court would have taken a long time. So you could do exactly what you're saying, but take the guns first, go through due process second.
Take the guns first, go through due process second. Is that centered around the founding principles of the United States? Is that centered around individual liberty? When you have the federal government advocating for taking firearms without due process, the court system is corrupt as it is. In the core, corrupt. It is corrupt entirely. As it is already rigged against us. But as it is already rigged against us, President Trump advocates to go even further and take guns without due process. The reason that I bring this up, even though President Trump is out of office, is because in many people's minds, he is being held as the savior that's going to come save us from Commie Joe. Do we need to be saved from Commie Joe? Oh, yes. But is the answer President Trump? I don't think so. Now, do I have all the answers? Absolutely not. But I will give my opinion on the matter. If you ask me, who or what do I think is the answer to the crisis that we are having in this country, the attack on individual liberty in this country, the shredding of the Constitution in this country, the answer is none other than what you see in your mirror. What I see in mine. The people united for a common goal of freedom, equality, and justice. Governments will not hold governments accountable. The people have to do that. Governments ever increase their power over us. This is all that they do. They do nothing more. The people have to unite to resurrect liberty. I advocate for freedom rallies, liberty rallies. We have to get the people excited for liberty. As Ron Paul ignited the passion for liberty in me many years ago, this must continue. And I understand very well I am not the one that is going to get young people fired up for liberty. It's going to take someone more charismatic than me, more well-spoken than me to do it. However, I have to try, and I will continue to try. There is a big divide here with many of these Trump supporters that I have encountered online and sometimes in person. These people are becoming ever increasingly like cult members, like members of a cult. They shut down the second that you criticize President Trump. They have come to the point that they nearly do not see him anymore as a man, but as a God. And it has come to me that these people are not merely Trump supporters, but more likely Trump worshipers. And this is a problem. This is a problem because this causes division. Okay? We as a people have to care about individual liberty. about the founding principles of the United States. This has to be the center point of our focus, the center point of what unifies the people. We have to rally around individual liberty. It is very important. It seems that people want to rally around President Trump. Well, is President Trump concerned with your individual liberty? Or is he concerned about his own power? Love your country, not your government. Stand with your countrymen, all of your countrymen, for one common goal of freedom, equality, and justice. And as the war on American people and the war on individual liberty continues under Commie Joe, I will make one statement. Not that I am anybody of influence that anyone should worry about. But I will make this statement. I will never commit suicide, ever. That will never happen. I will never do that. I say this just in case something ever happens to me. As I advocate for individual liberty and the people to unite, if anything is to ever happen to me, I want it to be on record. I will never commit suicide, ever. That will not happen. You guys have a good day.